This video is going to explain the main differences between the two most popular types of hydrangeas, which are the Hydrangea paniculata and the Hydrangea macrophylla. Hydrangea paniculata is also called Hydrangea panicle, and it's the one with the big, white, creamish flowers, and the Hydrangea macrophylla is often referred to as the common hydrangea and is the one that you will often see at the garden centers. Shh, don't tell anyone, but I have a little bias with hydrangeas. They're beginner friendly, and if you stay to the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can even change the color of the blooms. Don't you ever wonder how scientists make all kinds of hybrids? They've managed to create over 80 or more varieties of hydrangeas. They've worked on improving the stems, the blooms, the leaves, and that's why hydrangeas keep getting better and better over time. We can divide hydrangeas into 5 different types. Hydrangea macrophylla, which is the most common type. Hydrangea paniculata, which is the one that's gorgeous. They plant them in rows oftentimes, but be aware that there are 3 other types. Macrophyllas, they also have 3 different subtypes. What? Yes, they do. So these are mopheads, lacecaps, and there's mountain ones. My favorite are the paniculatas. Don't tell them mopheads. These are the ones that can also withstand a little bit more sunshine than their counterparts. That is going to bring us to difference number 1. The macrophyllas prefer about 3 to 4 hours of morning sun or dappled sun. So this is kind of dappled sun because it does get some sun, but it isn't blazing hot. Paniculatas are a bit more forgiving and they'll have more options in your garden. They prefer at least 6 hours of sun and can handle some dappled evening sun on top of that. So for a total of about 8 hours or so of sun. Now, depending what part of the country that you are in, these could do very well in direct sun. But I need to caution you here because they truly don't like scorching hot sun either. Sun in Savannah, where I live, and sun in Indiana, where I grew up, are 2 totally different kinds of suntans, my friend. I often like to pair the macrophyllas with some type of hostas. They are a perfect duo. The difference, number 2, is the blooms. So not only how they look and their color, but also when they bloom. I tend to think of color as the biggest difference. So macrophyllas have deep, bold flowers with intense colors, and the paniculatas are more subtle, more subdued with their colors. They're always white, creamy, creamish with a hint of pastel pink or purple or green. I've had hedges, I've enjoyed them as specimens, I've even made beautiful arrangements. I sometimes like to use the blooms of the paniculatas, the when they're dry, and they look really cool. I had a previous home with a limelight hydrangea that I used for a party to decorate it. So here are my brother and my father-in-law gathering blooms in the garden right before the party and putting them in buckets of water. So I ordered some roses from Sam's and I got some vases from the Dollar Tree, and I made some inexpensive flower arrangements for 10 tables, and everyone knew that these flowers came from our garden, so that made it even more special. Now the paniculatas can often cost you about $30 if you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, so you know sometimes they seem a little expensive, but you get a big bang for your buck. I've also learned how to propagate these, and if you want to learn how to do that, drop me a comment down below and let me know if you want me to teach you how to propagate hydrangeas. Let's talk about an easy way to tell the difference between a paniculata and a macrophylla by simply looking at the leaf structure. The easiest ones to tell apart are the macrophyllas, which have a more pronounced leaf structure. You can really see the veins. They're thicker. They're often more dark. They're definitely bigger. That's why they call them big leaf hydrangeas. And on the outer part, they have some ridges. Whereas the panicles and even the smooth hydrangeas, they have a smoother leaf, daintier leaf, and they are not as pronounced. Hydrangeas are perennials that come back year after year, but they will die down each season. So people sometimes wonder when the heck they're supposed to prune them. And many people, don't like the messiness after the blooms. The ugliest part of the plant is often the old wood. So the tendency is to cut off the ugly parts, which is the old wood. And when they're established, that's often when they're going to set their new blooms. That's true for the Macrophyllas and the oak leaf hydrangea. So while you might be tempted to prune that ugly thing, don't do it, because the blooms are going to actually form on that old wood. Get to know them first. Wait until the bloom has finished and don't cut back any more than a third of its total size. The paniculatas do grow on new wood. It's a little easier to prune because they're not as sensitive. So long as you prune after they've bloomed, you're probably going to be okay. So you've learned a lot. Now do you want to know how you can easily change the color of the bloom? Having acidic soil makes the mopheads blue. If you want them to be pink or even purple, you just need to make the soil more alkaline by adding pelletized lime. Which of these hydrangeas is your favorite? Comment which one is your favorite down below. So watch these videos about all kinds of plants you can choose for your garden, and remember that you can create bliss in your garden.